A Russian-installed mayor in the town of Snehurivka, east of the southern city of Mykolaiv, was cited by Russia's RIA news agency as saying residents had seen tanks and that fierce fighting was going on. They got into contact during the day and said there were tanks moving around and, according to their information, heavy fighting on the edge of the town, the mayor, Yuri Barabashov, said, referring to the residents.
People saw this equipment moving through the streets in the town center, he said. Kirill Stremisov, deputy head of the Russian-installed administration in the Kherson region, said on the Telegram messaging service that Ukrainian forces had tried to advance on 3 fronts, including Snehurivka. Vitaly Kim, the Ukrainian governor of Mykolaiv region, apparently quoting an intercepted conversation between Russian servicemen, suggested that Ukrainian forces had already pushed the Russians out of the area. Russian troops are complaining that they have already been thrown out of there, Kim said in a statement on his Telegram channel. Reuters was unable to verify the battlefield reports. There was no official word on the situation in the town from military officials in either Ukraine or Russia. Giving an update on the situation in the neighboring southern region of Kherson, the Ukrainian military on Tuesday evening accused Russian troops of more looting and destruction of infrastructure. A showdown has been looming for weeks in Kherson City, the only regional capital Russia has captured intact since its invasion. A convoy of trucks passed over the dam of the Kahova hydroelectric station loaded with home appliances and building materials, the military said. Russian forces were dismantling mobile phone towers and taking equipment, it said, adding that near the city of Berislav, Russian forces blew up a power line and took equipment from a solar power station. In Kherson City, it said Russian troops removed exhibits, furniture and equipment from a museum devoted to the painter Oleksiy Shavkunenko. Kherson is one of 4 partially occupied Ukrainian provinces that Russia says it annexed. It controls both the only land route to the Crimea Peninsula and the mouth of the Dnipro, the river that bisects Ukraine. The UN General Assembly is due to vote next week on a draft resolution recognizing that Russia must be responsible for reparation in Ukraine for the injury, including any damage caused by internationally wrongful acts. The text has been put forward by Ukraine, Canada, Guatemala and the Netherlands. 3/4 of the 193-member General Assembly denounced Russia's invasion in a vote in March, and in October condemned its self-proclaimed annexation of parts of Ukraine. Ukrainian forces have been on the offensive in recent months while Russia is regrouping to defend areas of Ukraine it still occupies, having called up hundreds of thousands of reservists over the past month. Zelensky said his forces would not yield a single centimeter in battles for the eastern Ukrainian region of Donetsk, while Russian-installed officials said Ukrainian forces were moving into a southern town with tanks. The focal points of the conflict in the industrial region of Donetsk are around the towns of Bakhmut, Soledar and Avdiivka, which have seen the heaviest fighting since Russian forces invaded Ukraine. The activity of the occupiers remains at an extremely high level, dozens of attacks every day, Zelensky said in his nightly video address late on Tuesday. They are suffering extraordinarily high losses, but the order remains the same, to advance on the administrative boundary of Donetsk region. We will not yield a single centimeter of our land, he said. The region is one of 4 Russia said it annexed in September. Fighting had been going on there between Ukrainian military and Russian proxy forces since 2014, the same year Russia annexed Crimea in the south.
Kyiv-based military analyst Oleh Zhyzhdanov said on Tuesday that 21 Russian conscripts had surrendered to Ukrainian forces around Svatov in Luhansk region. These poor mobilized men, really poor, they had had nothing to eat or drink in 3 days, of course they decided to surrender.